Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back through daily crypto news and analysis, and today we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, and I have quite a bit of things to talk about, so sit back, relax, and before we fully jump on into this video, I just want to ask if you guys could please leave a like on this video. It does help the channel grow immensely, and it only takes about a couple seconds to do so, so if you guys could do so, greatly appreciate it. So with that in mind, let's just jump in and let's talk about the overall market. So, today has been a little bit of a volatile ride, as expected with the indices opening. I suspect that this week could get a little bit volatile, continue it on. But of course, I am very bullish for the end of the month and for, January as well. And in terms of XRP, we did hit a little bit of a low after pumping up a little bit to like over 90 some cents. Everybody was so bullish. In my opinion, there was no sense to be bullish at that point, to be completely honest with you guys. And of course, then we came back down and retested some lows and pretty much swept those lows and then came back up above 85 cents. Now, I've been talking to you guys about 85 cents being, a very key, significant point to really get back to. Just so you guys understand why 85 cents is very bullish for us, or just in general, not bullish, but very important for us, I should say, is because of this. So let's actually go to the coordinates and let's change this to 85. So here you guys have it, right? 85 cents is one of the strongest support zones for XRP, and it's also a good point for us to hold. You could pretty much see that level being held back in September when we had a little bit of a flash crash on Bitcoin. We held that support zone back in August when we did jump up to almost like $1.30 plus, or almost $1.40 plus actually. And we do see, that support being tested even in the initial April pump as well. So 85 cents is, a demand zone going back as far as even months. Even if we go back a few years ago, we could actually see this, support zone being held even during the bear market a little bit. We actually jumped off of this back in February of 2018. Now, of course, during this time, there was a lot of support even going into December, but of course, I'm not going to look back on the day range and look at that, but of course, you guys could assume that there is. And of course, you could pretty much see on the weekly where 85 cents is in terms of strength. You can pretty much see the weekly being held in terms of that September low, and that is exactly why I'm actually happy for us to be back over 85 cents. Now, in terms of the volume, there's not a lot of volume here for XRP to really kind of flip bullish. On the daily, yes, there is volume. On the daily, there is quite a bit of volume. It's pretty bullish, but again, I'm not to the point where I'm getting very excited. Let me actually get rid of one of these RSIs, and you can pretty much see the RSI nearing the 50 point, which is what I want to see. We are back above 85 cents in terms of support, and we are almost above 50 in terms of RSI strength. So that is the major bullish point here. It's not the fact that we were aiming above 90 some cents. I don't care about price movement. I care about the technicals of the price movement. Now, with all of that in mind, let's move on and let's talk about some stuff that is fairly important. So, obviously this SEC lawsuit has been very important for all of us, but overall, I think that it's great to see the fact that a lot of individuals are really kind of, jumping into this space, not only because they are, a Ripple fan or an XRP fan, but they're jumping into this SEC sort of case and supporting Ripple from even an outsider perspective because they understand how big this lawsuit is. Now, of course, there's many quotes like this from, Johnny Dean. He knows all of these quotes because these are the reasons behind a lot of the class action lawsuit, pretty much members and stuff like that. And there's a ton of them. You guys could read more about this. But overall, from a crypto, advocate's standpoint, you should be supporting Ripple all through this entire SEC lawsuit. Because it is a clear overstretch of federal jurisdictions and overall power. I think that this is just the sort of ego idea of, hey, let's attack this asset class because they are damaging the banking scene. They're coming after the banking scene with DeFi. So in my opinion, I think that this was all one big plan. I think it's all one big show. And we are seeing, a lot of updates throughout this SEC lawsuit. And now we are actually seeing, a lot of good strides. Now, of course, this is a little bit of an older article. I'm sure that you probably all seen this before. But I just want you guys to understand that if we get a conclusion in 2022, it is going to be absolutely bullish for all of us. Not only for XRP, but also for all of this space. Now, of course, we will see some assets, come under scrutiny, like, for example, USDT. I know that they've been targeting USDT for a fairly long time, but I think that with regulations, I think comes a ton of other things. For example, we even see our Australian government are planning digital currency launch as crypto regulations are coming. Listen closely to this.
There's a digital revolution going on in our financial sector. Checks are nearly gone, cash is in decline, buy now, pay later, digital wallets and digital currencies are fast becoming the new norm. In fact, every single day in Australia, there are 55 million non-cash payments worth some 650 billion, and more than 800,000 Australians have actually had or owned cryptocurrency. So what we're seeking to do is modernise the payment system to broaden out the types of services and products that are governed by regulation. With respect to cryptocurrency, we want to take it out from the shadows, bring it into a considered regulatory framework. We want buyers and sellers that are businesses of those cryptocurrencies to have a financial licence that will give consumers a little bit more certainty and confidence about the parties that they're dealing with, and then of course work with the Reserve Bank about the feasibility of a central digital currency.
And what is currently wrong with the digital wallets and the buy now, pay later services such as Afterpay?
Well, there's nothing wrong with them. In fact, they're providing more consumer choice and easier forms of payment, but they're not all regulated. And that means they may not have the appropriate transparency around fees, Sylvia, or there may not be a level playing field for new entrants coming into the market to compete. And more competition is better for the consumer. It enhances choice and obviously fosters more innovation. So they're the sort of things that we're working through. And this is a fast-moving area, and we want Australia to be ahead of the pack.
Well, we're only a few days away now, 5 to be precise, of Queensland's reopening. What impact is this going to have on...
And honestly, I just want you guys to understand that, he's saying, there's less checks, there's cash decline, digital payments are skyrocketing in terms of, just use in general. He's saying that there's a ton of money flowing through this space. Digital payments, digitization is moving extremely fast. And I do believe that the SEC lawsuit is a massive catalyst event for the digital revolution in terms of a regulatory standpoint. I think that when we're talking about Ripple, they will foster in regulations for this entire space. And when you look at that from an outsider perspective, you could truly see that it's not just about XRP, it's not just about Ripple. Every asset within this space is going to disrupt massive markets, and it's not just XRP. I understand the idea when we're seeing this, right? One example of all the money on the XRP ledger: income, debt, CBDCs, the Fed, central banks, gold, silver, real estate, all of this stuff. There's other assets in this space that are also focused on a lot of these, major industries and markets. XRP is not going to be the only asset that gets all of the money. And I think that is the biggest problem within the XRP community. Everybody's so biased towards just one asset. Trust me, XRP is going to prosper. XRP is going to succeed. But there's also so many other assets in this space that are also doing incredible things. So, just don't focus on XRP. Trust me, I believe that when we're talking about regulatory clarity coming to the space, ISO 222 tokens are going to be the focus point. So look at XLM, look at XRP, look at ALGO, look at IOTA. Look at a lot of these other assets within the space, XDC as well, sorry. I didn't mean to leave XDC out. I know a lot of people are probably going to be like, dude, what about XDC? But no, there's a ton of assets that are going to really kind of, really spark the flame once regulations are actually in the space. And I do think that crypto regulations are a good thing. I know a lot of people think that it is a bad thing, but like I said, I think when we're talking about how fast this space is moving, and obviously other individuals are seeing that, the Australian government themselves are seeing that, they do know that if they do not adopt this technology class, that they will be left behind. Now, with this, we always look back a little bit in time, and we go back to the Swell event where Brad Garlinghouse just said, flip the switch events. And switch, this idea of the, flip the switch events, don't get me wrong. I think that that's coming, but I think that that has a point in time where, it's regulations coming to this space and crypto being adopted at such a massive rate where people can't even fathom the idea on how much money will flow over these networks. So listen closely to this one as well.
We started building RippleNet with the thesis that...
And I actually didn't know that this had music behind it, so I don't know if I could actually play this, because I know in my last video they pretty much, they took it down. But overall, he does say flip the switch event. He's talking about, pretty much them preparing for the flip the switch event. But in terms of what we are seeing in this market, when we're talking about the flip the switch event, I just think, a lot of people kind of take it out of context, and they think that that's where like the banks are replaced immediately by digitization. But no, I think that just means, it's really the idea of flipping the switch for crypto regulations, crypto adoption, crypto in general, because, we even see this going back to November 20th. ODL is a killer value proposition for RippleNet. And trust me, this is, we're seeing so much volume, so much value being flowed over this. We also see, minting NFTs on the XRP ledger. In terms of tokenization, tokenization is taking the world by storm. Digitization is definitely here. And when we're talking about CBDCs, that's the next big thing. But you cannot get there without this, which is global crypto regulatory frameworks to appear in 2022, says the BIS Innovation Hub boss. And yes, this is coming. And when we're talking about crypto and we're talking about regulations, I truly do think that this is going to be, the next big wave that really kind of flows into this market and allows for a lot of adoption to really take place. This is the point where, we don't just see NFTs being the next big utility token, or we don't just see, Dogecoin, Shiba Inu being adopted by retail individuals. No, we see legitimate utility grade tokens being utilized, being adopted in, fostered in. The new digital wave of payments and the revolution of the financial system is going to be ushered in extremely fast. That is what I personally see the flip the switch moment becoming. That is where I do look back on time and I'm like, well, when we're seeing everything that's unfolding, it's all coming back to one main thing: regulatory clarity. Even in regards to the SEC versus Ripple case, yeah, sure, it was more so about unregistered securities, but it was more so about regulations, regulatory clarity. That's the main focus point of this lawsuit. But this does not just bleed into the idea of, hey, it's a win for Ripple and XRP, and then, once that happens, XRP gets relisted and we go back to normal. No. XRP gets regulatory clarity, and you can pretty much say goodbye to a lot of these prices that are throughout this market and welcome in the next big wave of things, and that is, guess what? Governments adopting crypto. Governments utilizing crypto. This is the flip the switch moment. This is what we've been waiting for, and this is coming in 2022. I do suspect that 2022 will be the year it all changes. Okay? We even see here, Goldman Sachs thinks blockchain is the greatest thing since the internet and holds the key to the future of the metaverse. Crypto itself, blockchain technology, if you look at blockchain technology, it could be pretty much everything in this market, but you could also look back on things and say, hey, well, there's other consensus mechanisms like hashgraph technology as well. And when you're looking at that, you're like, wow, this future of crypto, the future of digitization and digital payments and the digital system is going to be so much bigger than just payments. It's going to be so much bigger than CBDCs. It's going to be so much bigger than NFTs. This space has a ton of growth in it. And we're even seeing here, millennial millionaires hold most of their wealth in crypto and plan on buying more. Obviously they see this because crypto is deflationary. Say what you will about this generation, say what you will about this next generation, but there is also a lot of individuals within the space that are young, that are very intelligent to understand how big crypto is going to become. You know, me personally, I don't hold a lot of money in my bank account. I really don't, because I know that right now with inflation rates hitting, 40-year highs, with what they were doing within the, mortgage scene with, extremely low, interest rates while houses are skyrocketing in value, you could obviously see the correlation between the 2008 crisis and what is happening right now. And that is why I hedge my bets against the US dollar with things like crypto, with, things that are deflationary, staking, earning a percentage yield. The future isn't the US dollar. The future is crypto. Crypto adoption is about to take this market by storm, and I'm going to be here for it. So with all of that in mind, I hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys don't want free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.